Welcome to my channel. I'm Allison. If you're new around here, I actually found some old footage of some what's for dinner videos. So I know the world is very unusual, crazy right now. So all of this was filmed obviously before the coronavirus outbreak, but I thought that these meals would give you some good inspiration for what you might have on home in your kitchen to cook some yummy dinners. So hopefully these videos will bring you a little bit of joy so you can kind of forget about everything, get some meal inspiration, and cook something healthy and yummy for your families. All right, it is Friday night and we are cooking dinner. I realize this is open back here, and what's for dinner number one is going to be a chicken creamy pasta with broccoli. I recently discovered this meal. I've made it a couple times and I love it. So first step, I need to boil some pasta, and my water is actually just about coming to a boil here. So I am using this pasta. I actually really like this brand and I can find it at most grocery stores, and we're gonna finish cooking it in the skillet a little bit later. So it says cooking time is 11 to 13 minutes. So I'm actually gonna undercook it just a little bit and probably go with 10 minutes on this. So we're gonna add about half of this box, the boiling water, and cook that up. All right, so we've got the pasta boiling. It's got about 7 more minutes in it. I actually love to use this kind of pasta stirrer. I just feel like it gets the pasta mix around the best. So that's going well. I'm going to heat up this skillet. I've got about actually a little bit more than a tablespoon of olive oil, maybe like a tablespoon and a half or so. And I'm just gonna heat this up on like medium heat. And this olive oil actually has some like seasoning in it. I really like it. It's from Trader Joe's. And to that, we're gonna add, this is about like 3/4 a pound of diced up chicken. I just use scissors. I think it's so much easier. You can see I bought a full pound. It's a little much if you use a full pound, but you could, if you want this to be super protein heavy, you could add the full pound, but I'm gonna save these for another recipe. So I'm gonna let this heat up. To this, I'm just gonna add some salt, so regular salt here, and my spice drawer here, I'm gonna grab my pepper. I'm just gonna do it really simple. Black pepper. This already has some nice kind of Italian seasonings in it, which is gonna go great because you're also gonna need a block of cream cheese. This is just like Philadelphia. I've just cubed it up here. This is gonna help make our cream. We're gonna add some pesto to that. Again, big Trader Joe's fan here. And then you're gonna need about half cup of your broth of your choice. I'm using these vegetable bouillon cubes, which I showed in another video. My previous was for dinner. And so I'm just gonna add all of this to make my sauce in a little bit. And you're also gonna need some frozen broccoli. So this is 16 ounces. The recipe calls for 8 ounces. So it's half of this is perfect to split over 2 dinners. So once the pasta is almost cooked, I'm gonna actually add this in. But I think this is actually heated up pretty nicely. I'm just gonna get the entire pan coated here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken in to that. And I'm gonna add some seasoning to it here. Just a little bit. It actually doesn't need too much because we're gonna have more later. I'm gonna add some pepper to this. I need both hands. And I'm gonna saute this up for just about 5 minutes. It goes quick when it's diced like this. So we've got just about a minute left, so I'm gonna actually add the broccoli. It only needs about a minute. It goes pretty quick, but I'm going to actually put the lid on here just to make it go a little bit faster. And our chicken is still cooking away. So once this is ready here in just about another minute or so, I'm going to drain it all into just like a colander, and then you're going to add it to our chicken mixture in just a little bit. Okay, so my chicken looks good. You definitely want to make sure that it's cooked all the way. It's actually been cooking for a little bit longer than 5 minutes, probably like 7 to 8 minutes or so. And then once you have your chicken in a good place, you want to add your other ingredients to make our creamy pesto sauce. So So I'm gonna add in this whole block of cream cheese in chunks. Because we're gonna whisk it all together. I'm going to add my half cup of broth here. You'll see it start to get, that'll help liquefy it. And then you're gonna add, I would say the pesto is up to you. About anywhere from like a couple tablespoons all the way up to a third or like a fourth cup or so. I'm just gonna kind of finish out this jar that I have. There's not. And then you're gonna whisk it all together. So we wanna kind of whisk it into this nice sauce. So I'm going to do that, and then you can see what it looks like right now. This is what it's looking like so far. So I'm gonna whisk this all together, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And I've also got my pasta ready to go over there. This is what our sauce is looking like. It's nice and creamy with that chicken in there. Everything's well combined. So I'm gonna take my pasta and my broccoli, and I'm gonna dump it in. There we go. And then I'm just gonna stir everything together and plate it up. So you can see that this makes a really good portion. I've already taken mine out, so definitely a lot for a family. And here's mine plated up. Looks yummy, and I'm just gonna pair it with a little bit of sparkling soda. This is What's for Dinner. Hey everyone, it's What's for Dinner night 2, and tonight we're actually making this peanut stew that I got inspiration from Budget Bites on. So Budget Bites is actually an app on your phone, which I'll show you here. And a lot of times I get really good meal inspiration from them. So it gives you like step-by-step instructions of what to do, to set timers, everything that you need to make the meal. So this is ultimately what we're gonna be making this. Peanut stew here with rice. So I've already got my rice cooked, and I just followed the instructions in the packet, but I actually like to add, and you guys have seen them in all of my What's for Dinners, I love bouillon cubes, but I actually add just a little bit of this. This is a new one that I got, and I love it. It's just like a jar that you can spoon out. I always add a little bit of bouillon to my rice. I just think it gets extra flavor, and it's better that way. So I already did step 1 on this, so I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like over here. So I chopped up, this was actually half of a large onion. You could do like one whole like medium small onion, 4 cloves of garlic, and then this is approximately like a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I use this handy little mincer tool. For my garlic here, you're gonna need some peanuts for this. This is a peanut stew. Potatoes, the recipe calls for sweet potatoes, but I'm not a huge sweet potato person, so I just have some regular mini potatoes that I'm gonna chop up. This recipe also doesn't call for this, but I had this and I thought that sounded good, so I'm gonna chop that up, and we're gonna cook it all up in here. So to start with, I've got about a tablespoon of olive oil, and this is my olive oil with seasoning in it. You know, you could just use regular olive oil, but I'm going to toss all this stuff in there and get that start to sauteing up. So everything's in my pot now, and I had the onions, garlic, ginger sauteing for a couple minutes. Then I threw in I cut up the potatoes, the pepper. I added in a teaspoon of cumin and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and I'm just gonna stir it all up here. And I'm gonna let that go for another about 5 minutes or so is what the recipe is calling for. So it smells amazing. I added just a pinch of salt earlier too, just to kind of help everything break down. It's been about 5 minutes. This is smelling so good. You can see the brown bits on the end of this pot. That's really gonna make great flavor, which is what we want. Oh, and my timer's going off, so you can just stop it here, which is why I love this app. But to this, now we're gonna add all of the liquid, and we're gonna need half a cup of peanut butter. I'm adding a little bit less because I don't want it to be too sweet. And then we're going to add 4 cups of broth. I'm making my own broth by just using water and this Better Than bouillon. And then the critical ingredient is you need, my kitchen is like crazy, 6 ounces of tomato paste. So I'm going to add all of this into my pot, and then I will show you what it looks like. So I've added all those ingredients in the peanut butter, the broth, the tomato paste. I'm going to just stir it up until it's as smooth as basically I can get it. I'm going to put the lid on over here, and I'm just going to let it simmer in my Dutch oven here for about 15 to 20 minutes until everything is combined, thickened, soft, into a perfect stew to go over our rice. Okay, so my stew is looking so good, and I just tasted it. It's really thickened up here, and the flavors have well combined. It's very tasty. So this is optional. I'm actually gonna, with the last like 2 minutes, I'm gonna pour in some of these frozen green peas into it just to give it a little bit of color. The Budget Bite recipe, actually, she calls for chopping up some collard greens, which I customize these recipes all the time. I'm not gonna do that. You know, she's telling you to put it in here. You can see she narrates everything, gives you little timers, but I'm not going to do that step. So this is ultimately what it will look like when it's plated up, but I'm actually meal prepping this meal. So I've got my rice here. I'm going to put all my stew in here for later in the week. So I will plate it up for you guys later in the week and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I reheated up the dinner and I mixed in the stew with this rice, and I'm just going to combine it together here. And then next step, if you want to, I'm going to add a little bit of sriracha to mine, just to add a little bit of spice. And then I'm going to add in, I just chopped up some peanuts here. Since this stew does have peanut butter in it, I'm just going to give a little bit of crunch, and it's all ready to eat. I'm gonna try it here. Mix it up. My dog's going crazy right now. Try it. You want some? You can't have any. It's really good. Alright, what's for dinner? Alright, we've got dinner number 3 tonight, guys. Don't mind my messy bun look here with my dog mom shirt. But I'm really excited about this meal. We are going to be making homemade ramen, which I have done once and it was a failure. So I'm hoping tonight is going to go better. All right, so I've been doing a lot of prep work for this meal that I didn't film, but I figured it would just be easier to show you guys all of what's going to be involved and what you're going to need. So I did get inspiration from this from a fellow YouTuber. I will link her below. And I'm kind of taking her recipe and adapting a little bit to what I wanted. So first off was I browned some meat. This is just ground beef. Ground pork would be good, ground turkey. And I seasoned it with garlic, ginger, and then soy sauce, and then this hot chili sauce. So this is pretty hot, so I just used a little bit of it. And that's optional, but I would definitely recommend giving your meat some Asian flavoring. We're also going to be using bean sprouts in our ramen. These are just what you can get these like at normal grocery stores, but it's actually in a can. We have some corn. I love corn in my ramen. Some green onions, some soft boiled eggs. I did 4 because I think we'll have leftovers here. So hopefully they turned out well. And then, also I was just heating these up a little bit, some mushrooms. So I just seasoned these a little bit and cooked them earlier, but they were getting a little cold. So mushrooms as well. My husband doesn't like mushrooms, so we won't put these in his. And then I think the secret is really this ramen base that I made. So, and then I have more cooked noodles here, which we'll put in each of those. So you can just get these noodles, like you could either use the little ramen packets if you wanted. You could get a big pack of them, a little bit higher quality one, whatever is easiest. So this is 2 portions here. And then I think hopefully this turns out really well, but for this base, I used a little bit of miso paste. This is the red miso paste. So I'm gonna refrigerate it afterwards. I used a tablespoon in each of the bowls, and then a tablespoon of soy sauce, and then just a teeny bit of this hot chili sauce. So this would be totally optional. You could also use sriracha if you have that. And then I have just a tablespoon of butter that I'm gonna put in each of the bowls too. So I have the broth over here, which is actually bone broth. So instead of just like regular chicken or vegetable broth, I got bone broth, and that's actually heating up right now. And I'm going to combine everything and show you guys how it looks afterwards. All right, so I've got everything assembled. I think it looks really good. My eggs almost turned out a little hard, but I'm just gonna mix this all up and I'm going to enjoy. So just make sure you guys, I put the butter in this one for my husband, but just make sure you mix everything in the bottom really well. I'm so mad. I don't have any chopsticks. I don't know where ours are. So I'm just gonna mix this all up, get all the goodness from the bottom, and you can see my ramen in here. It looks really, really good. I'm gonna enjoy. So hopefully you enjoyed those meal ideas. I'd love to hear which one was your favorite down in the comments below. Again, please subscribe to my channel. I am hoping to bring you new videos this year, more inspiration ideas. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'll link those down below where you can see more day-to-day what we're doing. I do a lot of home decor, home organization, just fun with my husband and my pets here in Los Angeles, and I'll see you guys in the next one.